Hello, it's Willie from the Ozarks, and it's May the 13th, and we're ready for lesson 133 in A Course in Miracles workbook for students. Lesson 133, I will not value what is valueless. I will not value what is valueless. It's a little over 2 pages long. I will not value what is valueless, for what is valuable belongs to me. Before we read that, I want to go back to yesterday's lesson and even the day before that. The day before that, our lesson was no one can fail who asks to reach the truth. And in that last meditation of the night before I went to sleep, I did I think they were the three 10 minutes or 2 15s, but whatever they were, I set my timer so that I would do that lesson, and it said to put out your hand and see how easily the door swings open. Remember how we were supposed to go underneath the tumult of the world, and that the door, there was a trap door underneath in that holy place beneath the thoughts of duality and conflict. But there was a holy place where those thoughts are still. We were to remember those thoughts for a moment and then sink down below them to the holy place where those thoughts can enter not. And then it says there'd be a door that would open to a new world, to the real world. And that before you opened it, remind yourself, no one can fail who asks to seek the truth. And then see how easily it opens. And as you walked in, that you'd be met with angels and lights. Well, I had that experience of walking through that door. All the years that I've practiced the Course in Miracles, I never knew for sure if I was getting that right or not. But you know what? It was clear as it could be. He even said that we would know, in a sense, he said you'd know all truth. I wasn't going to really talk about that, but it was so meaningful. I thought, you know what? I really should go back and mention it. You know what? When I got down to that and walked through that door into the real world, which appeared to be kind of like a dream, an imaginary world you might have thought of, but it was exiting the world of conflict. And they were having a party. The door was wide open. I didn't even matter of fact, I forgot to say the little phrase where it says, no one can fail who asks to reach the truth. And then the door would open. The door was opened up and I just walked in and everybody was just having a wonderful time. And I felt like, wow, this is where I'm headed. This is the place where I'm at home. So anyway, just a little encouragement. Okay, yesterday's lesson, without taking a lot of time, I loosed the world from all I thought it was. What keeps the world in chains but your beliefs? The thoughts you hold are mighty, and illusions are as strong in their effects as is the truth. Remember, you've been created in the image of God, and as a creator, because you're in the image of God, you're a creator too. Remember, we're learning now that there's no distinction where God ends and where you begin, where the Father ends and his effect, you, his Son, begins. You're one and the same. But as a creator and having such power in your thoughts, you can make a world that believes in separation and you'll think it real. And this is what we're trying to awaken from, this dream. Death strikes it everywhere because you hold the bitter thought of death within your mind. That's why there's war and suffering and pain, because you hold that in your mind. We're wanting to learn to wake from that. There is no world apart from what you wish, and herein lies your ultimate release. Change but your mind on what you want to see, and all the world must change accordingly. Ideas leave not their source. This is a central theme in the Course. And it's often stated, and it must be borne in mind if you would understand the lesson for today. So yesterday, I loosed the world from all I thought it was, is based on this central theme that ideas leave not their source. Well, there is no world. This is the central thought the Course attempts to teach. There is no world. This is the central thought the Course attempts to teach. And then he goes on, he says, well, not everyone's ready for this, and each one must go as far as he can as he's led along the road to truth. You might make some progress and then fall back in doubt and unclarity. But healing is the gift of those who are prepared to learn there is no world and accept the lesson now. You want to be a healer? Well, then accept this lesson. I loosed the world from all I thought it was. And to realize that this is an illusion if it's not based on love and perfection and goodness and brotherly kindness in all respects. Some people see that in a near-death experience, others through different meditation practices. But he says that, and some will find it in this course and in the exercises we do today. Isn't it nice to know we've got such a powerful guide? Today's idea is true because the world does not exist. And if it is indeed your own imaginings. So we're going to begin to take better watch care over our own thoughts and be more motivated to let go of the painful caustic thoughts and hang on to our real thoughts. We're going to learn in our next lesson, we've already learned it, that there's really just a choice. It's not an unlimited amount of choices. It's a choice between peace and illusion, or truth and illusion, peace and conflict. That's really the nature of our choice. It's not an unlimited amount of choices. You are as God created you. There is no place where you can suffer and no time that you can bring to change. There is no place where you can suffer and no time that can bring change to your eternal state. To free the world from every kind of pain is but to change your mind about yourself. There is no world apart from your ideas, because ideas leave not their source, and you maintain the world within your mind in thought. So it's with thoughts that we must work. I, who remain as God created me, would loose the world from all I thought it was. For I am real because the world is not, and I would know my own reality. That was what we were supposed to say when we entered into our 2 15-minute practice periods. So I, who remain as God created me, would loose the world from all I thought it was. For I am real because the world is not, and I would know my own reality. Then merely rest, alert with no strain, and let your mind in quietness be changed so that the world is freed along with you. So merely rest after reminding ourselves, I who remain as God created me would loose the world from all I thought it was, for I am real because the world is not, and I would know my own reality. Then merely rest, alert, but with no strain, and let your mind in quietness be changed, so that the world is freed along with you. And then he said throughout the day, if you're tempted to deny the power of your simple change of mind, say, I loose the world from all I thought it was, and choose my own reality instead. He didn't actually specifically tell us to think about that throughout the day, but hopefully you're doing that. I think it's pretty obvious he wants us to keep these concepts going throughout the day. And he said to use it if you're tempted. We may be tempted a lot more than we're giving ourselves attention to. But either way, I try to keep thought going at least every hour. Okay, before we read lesson 133, I will not value what is valueless. I wanted to show you a couple things that are common plants here in the Ozarks that I would encourage everybody to have a little garden of this going, because they pretty much overpower the weeds. You can go pick them and make tea, or just eat the leaf anytime you want, as far as that goes. The peppermint, and this one, spearmint, both very similar. I like to keep them in two different locations when I plant a new bed of peppermint or spearmint. It'll last for years. I wasn't sure which one I had because I can't really tell. I should be able to tell by flavor. So I got a couple just so I'd say, okay, now this is spearmint. Now I'm going to go out and look at my patch and see if mine's spearmint or peppermint. I've got 2 or 3 different patches of it. And then I'm going to probably share those with somebody. But I'm trying to figure out which I've got, peppermint or spearmint, or is it a mix? And there's a lot of different varieties too, you know. Okay, but it's highly medicinal for so many ailments. Very healthful. Anyway, I encourage everybody to have a little garden of peppermint or spearmint, perennial that keeps coming back, and easy to care for. Get you in touch with the land here in the Ozarks or wherever you're at. I will not value what is valueless. Sometimes in teaching there is benefit, particularly after you have gone through what seems theoretical and far from what the student has already learned, to bring him back to practical concerns. This we will do today. We will not speak of lofty world-encompassing ideas, but dwell instead on benefits to you. 2. You do not ask too much of life, but far too little. You do not ask too much of life, but far too little. When you let your mind be drawn to bodily concerns, to things you buy, to eminence as valued by the world, you ask for sorrow, not for happiness. This course does not attempt to take from you the little that you have. It does not try to substitute utopian ideas for satisfactions which the world contains. Paragraph 3. There is no satisfaction in the world. Today we list the real criteria by which to test all things you think you want. Unless they meet these sound requirements, they are not worth desiring at all, for they can but replace what offers more. Okay? Wow. Paragraph 4. So he's going to give us some criteria so we can decide what we want to choose. Paragraph 4. The laws which govern choice you cannot make, no more than you can make alternatives from which to choose. The choosing you can do, indeed you must. But it is wise to learn the laws you set in motion when you choose, and what alternatives you choose between. We've already stressed there are but 2, however many there appear to be. All right? Truth and illusion. Simple as that. The range is set. In other words, you can choose among illusions, but you're still picking nothing. So the choice is between what is real and what is unreal. All right? So let's keep that in mind. The range is set. That's our range. And this we cannot change. It would be most ungenerous to you to let alternatives be limitless and thus delay your final choice until you had considered all of them in time and not been brought so clearly to the place where there is but one choice that must be made. Isn't it nice that Jesus has shown us that our only choice is between what is real and what is unreal? We are blessed indeed. 6. Another kindly and related law, that there is no compromise in what your choice must bring. It cannot give you just a little, for there is no in between. Each choice you make brings everything to you or nothing. Therefore, if you learn the tests by which you can distinguish everything from nothing, you will make the better choice. First, if you choose a thing that will not last forever, what you choose is valueless. A temporary value is without all value. Time can never take away a value that is real. What fades and dies was never there and makes no offering to him who chooses it. He is deceived by nothing in a form he thinks he likes. He is deceived by nothing in a form he thinks he likes. Let's don't go down that rabbit hole. Paragraph 8. Of course, we've all done it, haven't we? Paragraph 8. Next, if you choose to take a thing away from someone else, you will have nothing left. This is because when you deny his right to everything, you have denied your own. You therefore will not recognize the things you really have, denying they are there. Who seeks to take away has been deceived by illusion. Loss can offer gain. Yet loss must offer loss and nothing more. Yet loss must offer loss and nothing more. So what we need to learn is that whatever is good for me is good for everybody. And we want everyone to have the very things that I want. If you want something that you have to take from somebody else in order to have, leave it alone. Offer it to them. Someone got something that I was thinking about buying, and somebody said, "Oh, they got it," and they said it in such a way like, "Oh, it's too bad they got it. We didn't get it, and now it's gone." And I thought, "Oh, it's nice. They got it. Wonderful." We got to start looking at ourselves and our brother, not that the last. When someone says, "Be sure to sign up for your tickets because they're not going to last long," I go, "Well, that's the reason why I probably ought to wait a while, make sure everybody else gets their ticket, and then if there's one left, I'll take it." There's a whole new way of looking at the world. Of course, in that you always know that God will give you what you're supposed to have. That's what we're learning, is that we don't have to force our way. Paragraph 9. Your next consideration is the one on which the others rest. Why is the choice you make of value to you? What attracts your mind to it? What purpose does it serve? Here it is easiest of all to be deceived. For what the ego wants, it fails to recognize. It does not even tell the truth as it perceives it, for it needs to keep the halo which it uses to protect its goals from tarnish and from rust, that you may see how innocent it is. All right, so he's saying this is an easy one for us to be deceived in. The next consideration is the one on which the others rest. Why is the choice you make of value to you? Why is the choice? Why are you valuing it? Remember, where your treasure is, where your treasure is, there will your heart be. Well, what's valuable to you is what you valued, and whatever you value, you're going to protect. And so he's saying that we've got our values kind of messed up here. And the ego uses that to deceive us, to trip us up. That's why it's so good to spend a lot of quiet time, just knowing who you really are, so you can make worthwhile choices. 10. Yet is its camouflage a thin veneer, which could deceive but those who are content to be deceived. That's nice to know. Its goals are obvious to anyone who cares to look for them. Here is deception doubled, for the one who is deceived will not perceive that he has merely failed to gain. He will believe that he has served the ego's hidden goals, and though he tries to keep its halo clear within his vision, yet must he perceive its tarnished edges and its rusted core. Paragraph 11. His ineffectual mistakes appear as sins to him, because he looks upon the tarnished as his own, the rust a deep sign of unworthiness within himself. He who would still perceive the ego's goals and serve them as his own makes no mistakes according to the dictates of his guide. This guidance teaches it is error to believe that sins are but mistakes, for who would suffer for his sins if this were so? 12. And so we come to the criteria for choice, which is the hardest to believe because its obviousness is overlaid with many levels of obscurity. If you feel any guilt about your choice, you've allowed the ego's goals to come between the real alternatives, and thus you do not realize there are but two. And the alternatives you think you choose seems fearful and too dangerous to be the nothingness it actually is. So we're going to be alert for the feelings of guilt or the thoughts of guilt and not follow those choices. 13. All things are valuable or valueless, worthy or not being sought at all, entirely desirable or not worth the slightest effort to obtain. Choosing is easy just because of this. Complexity is nothing but a screen of smoke which hides the very simple fact that decisions can be difficult. Oh, that no decision can be difficult. So the smoke screen, complexity is nothing but a smoke screen which hides the very simple fact that no decision can be difficult. So look back to the simplicity that's between truth and illusion, peace and unrest. Real simple. What is the gain, 14? What is the gain to you in learning this? It is far more than merely letting you make choices easily and without pain. Heaven itself is reached by empty hands and open minds. Isn't that great to know? Empty hands and open minds is how heaven is reached, which come with nothing to find everything and claim it as their own. We will attempt to reach this state today with self-deception laid aside and with an honest willingness to value but the truly valuable and the real. 15. Our 2 extended practice periods of 15 minutes will begin with this. I will not value what is valueless, and only what has value do I seek, for only that do I desire to find. I will not value what is valueless, and only what has value do I seek, and only that do I desire to find. And we're making a statement that we want to know what's true, what's real, and not the illusion. Paragraph 17. And then receive what waits for everyone who reaches unencumbered to the gate of heaven, which swings open as he comes. Has a gate that opens just as you walk up to it. Should you begin to let yourself collect some needless burdens or to believe you see some difficult decisions facing you, be quick to answer with this simple thought. I will not value what is valueless, for what is valuable belongs to me. So, when you're ready, the teacher will appear. When you reach the gates of heaven, they'll open automatically for you because you've reached them and you're ready. It's kind of like a couple days ago when I went a couple lessons ago. I just entered in. The gate was open. I was supposed to say, and no one can fail who asks to reach the truth. And I actually forgot to say it, but I still was able to enter in. I mean, I'd been saying it all day and I kind of had it in my mind, but I didn't technically say it. But to my surprise, the door was open and the angels were saying, come on in, we've been waiting for you, Will. Remind me when Jerry left this world. He heard the songs and kept thinking that I was having a party. He kept saying, Will, you got to keep it quiet. I can't sleep. He did that 3 times during the night before he crossed. 3rd time he finally crossed, and when I came to check on him, he had made his transition. But boy, he was hearing the music. Well, I got to hear the music when I did that myself. But anyway, for today, let the gate be opened as you enter in. Say to yourself, I will not value what is valueless, and only what has value do I seek, for only that do I desire to find. And then throughout the day, I will not value what is valueless, for what is valuable belongs to me. I will not value what is valueless. I will not value what is valueless.